Hello everyone and welcome back. This video will be the third and final part of the custom oak door build series. Before we proceed, I'd like to ask you to subscribe to my channel and support it if possible. In previous videos, I glued oak boards together, then assembled and glued the rest of the door, which now looks like it's ready to be shaped into the fine custom door it is destined to be. I will start by trimming edges of the door to conform to final dimensions. Piece of straight board clamped to the door is used to guide the manual circular saw along the line. Painter's tape wrapped around side pieces of the door is there to protect the wood from chipping when saw blade cuts across the grain. Measuring diagonals help to identify should the door be out of square. In this case, we are well within couple of millimeters difference and looking good to be cut. Upon cutting to size all four sides, edges are sanded. This belt sander was purchased specifically for this project, for I have no other means to address inevitable steps between door pieces after it was all crudely assembled in my improvised garage shop. Nevertheless, this door comes out looking pretty good. After some degree of tolerable flat surface is established, it's time to dress panel edges with 1/8 round router bit. I modified it slightly so that it would not touch the panel itself with its socket screw. The router is moved in such manner that it produces the climbing cut, which helps reduce chipping of the wood, especially when cutting through cross-grain areas. Next, hinges are marked. This takes place in the room for which the door was made, and so I don't want to make lots of noise and dust in there. I opted out for the use of good old chisel to cut the recessed cavities for hinges. Doing so brings memories of my younger years when I used to chisel wood on a daily basis. I am being careful not to let the chisel slip and cut into the hinge surrounding area. Pilot hole drilling is a must on a hardwood such as oak. First fitting of the door is a success. The only minor imperfection is the lower corner of the door frame touching the door, causing it to spring back a little bit. It will be taken care of by sanding off a couple of millimeters from the door edge. The ultimate goal for this door is to fit here perfectly and look and feel like it has always been there. Installing the lock is a bit tricky. I mark where the lock stops when closed, measure and transfer it onto the door. Seven-eighths of an inch drill bit is used to make the cavity for the lock itself. Lock flange recessed area is chiseled out. Distance to center for handles is 2 3/8 of an inch, or about 60 millimeters. Two-inch hole saw makes for an easy way to make the cutouts for handles on either side of the door. Everything is fit tested for assurance of only the perfect results. If you ever wondered why there is a little slit and a tab in the lock tongue receiving plate, that's what it's for, to adjust for the rattle of the door when closed. Upon hardware fitment, final preparations take place. The wood flour collected from the belt sander mixed with wood glue makes a goo which is used to fill in little gaps and cracks on the top and bottom edges of the door. Visible areas of the door are filled with stainable wood filler. For some reason, when applied with spackle tool, this filler turns dark in color. Must be something that reacts with the metal. I used non-metallic spackling tool from then on. The entire door is sanded with 120 grit sandpaper to ensure a smooth, uniform surface to absorb color stain properly. Surprisingly, the Harbor Freight orbital sander turned out to be a good purchase decision. All the sand belt scratches should be sanded off, or else they will show when stain applied. Old and clogged sandpaper on the orbital sander will leave unwanted marks as well. Round off corners by hand. I'm being careful not to touch panels with sandpaper, for it will be nearly impossible to fix those cross scratches. Sanding, sanding, so much sanding. Belt sander speeds up the job by a whole bunch. I'm using it to remove a couple of millimeters from that corner which causes springing. Door edges are treated like the surface. Outer corners manually rounded using sanding block. Use compressed air to blow the dust off and open up wood pores. Pair of long nails in both top and bottom of the door will help speed up the coating process, allowing to flip the door without having to wait until it completely dry. The door looks good and ready to be stained and coated. Professional product stain was color matched by the store and looked like they did an outstanding job. The stain is brushed on and wiped off, leaving behind beautiful accented wood grain. It is a hands-down excellent color match. The door is treated with different color stains on either side, making it live up to the full meaning of the word custom. Few minutes of shaking was very tiring and grossly inadequate for this 1 gallon of satin lacquer. We want to make sure that all this stuff is mixed in and suspended prior to using, for this is the very stuff that makes the lacquer satin. Without it, it would be plain glossy. Nothing fancy here, just brush application, flip and brush some more. I'm keeping brush strokes consistent with wood grain direction and length. First coat is very lightly sanded with fine grit sandpaper. Here we need to be especially mindful not to sand through the lacquer and stain and expose bare wood. Blow off dust, apply final coat, install hardware. Make sure that everything is in correct orientation and functions properly prior to door installation. We wouldn't want the same thing to happen to this door as well. As long as I got stain colors right for each side, the door can go up. Thanks for watching. You all know what to do, and have a great day.